and then do your T-lift. You then take a rongeur, and you take a curved osteotome and you remove the inferior portion of the IAP. You do this with a curved osteotome, and you use a lamina spreader to distract, so you can get under and see that, and then put the ligament flavum on tension. You try to use your osteotome so you get to the junction of the lamina and the ligament flavum, so you can pull it all off, the IAP and the ligament flavum at the same time.
So you have to sacrifice the interspinous ligament?
Yeah, you have to, and this is only, you can only really do this with a fusion. Okay, so you need it, this requires a fusion. Okay. So then you do a lateral decompression of the superior facet, just flush with the pedicle. You can either use a kerosene, or you can use a chisel, okay, to do that. Okay. And then you do a rongeur use a rongeur to do a foraminotomy, or you can use a chisel for this as well. Okay. Let me see if we can get this to run. I'm just going to show you this here. So here's a chisel. Okay. And you can use a curved curette or a pituitary rongeur just to pull it out. You see that? It's in the way of it. You pull out the pituitary. So if you can see now, begin to see the dura. You do that on both sides. This is the IAP and the lamina, sublaminar. Okay, you pull that out. There's some ligament flavum. But now we're taking the top of the lamina, the lobe below. You can see again the lamina there. And you can see the dura. You're taking a chisel, removing the portion of the SAP and the overgrowth. And you're taking the kerosene and moving it that way. And that gives you a wide decompression. Okay. And you're going to be doing a T-lift. You just take off a kerosene punch or a chisel or a needle nose lasso rongeur, and just find the top of the pedicle and just take it and just bite that off. So then you can see the exiting root, the traversing root, and the disc space. Okay, and you can use this distraction to allow you to get into the disc space as well. So it's a very simple technique. And so this is what it would look with a laminectomy. Okay. All right. And this is what it looks like with the sublaminar decompression. So you can see you've preserved the facet joints, or preserved the lamina and the spinous processes. And you have all the bone that you've removed from underneath for the decompression, but then you have all the other native bone attached. So when you do a decortication, and we really spend a lot of time doing the decortication, you can use actually a chisel to do some what's called petaling, which creates more bone surface area and bone mass, and then we'll put in the local bone from the decortication or from the decompression, and in addition with some allograft bone. And I'm just going to show you. This was just showing the decompression itself, and this is what the fusion mass looks like. You can see that the fusion mass is very robust. It's in the midline. Can even kind of cover a lot of the bone itself, but the bone can cover the pedicles, screws, and the instrumentation itself. So it's a very useful technique when you're doing deformities. It also will allow you to mobilize the joint well, so you can reduce the deformity in a very effective way. So it's almost like doing a Smith-Peterson or similar osteotomies, osteotomies. So that's it. And then you put in screws. You can see here the fusion mass that you get. It's very robust. So it's a very effective, really central laminectomy is if you're using instrumentation, it's rarely necessary. It's hard to do this, you really can't do this at L5S1, so you do a foraminotomies at L5S1, but all of the other levels in the lumbar spine, you can do this very effectively. And in particular with deformity, it really mobilizes the joints well, and it decompresses as well too. So that's the advantage of this, and it provides a large surface area of native bone, specifically lamina and the spinous processes that are still there, so that you can use that surface as another surface for bone. So that's it. There you go. All right. Any questions about that?
Yes. What do you use as a fusion mass?
For the fusion mass, local bone, okay, that we cleaned up all the soft tissues from, and we just keep all of the bone, because you're getting actually very large pieces of bone that you then can morselize or prepare, and then allograft, demineralized bone matrix, kind of allograft, like a putty, that you mix in with the native bone. Occasionally with really long fusions, like T2 to the pelvis or other things like that sort, we might use occasionally some BMP. But really when you're decorticating, when we do decorticate, we use a chisel. So we pedal. It's almost like the petals of a rose. So we keep it mostly attached to the lamina, but we spread it out so that you increase the surface areas of the native bone so it still has a blood supply. And then we pack in the other bone graft in between. So if you want to see how we decorticate, if you have a chisel, I'll show you how to do that too. It retains a lot of bone. Unlike using a burr where there's heat and then you've got this bone dust that can sometimes be sucked away. This really retains all the